right now because we're talking about the flash flooding in this area, and they're talking about the flooding on 91. This is actually something we saw back with the last storm, that there was severe flooding between the Wethersfield, Rocky Hill area.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, I mean, obviously the rain was incredibly heavy, but I'm wondering if there are some issues there regarding however kind of the grading is on the roads, or also how the drainage system is.
What's happening here?
What is happening here? You know who we should watch?
That is
we should
skill.
ask. This is Carmen Chow's video. Apparently her family just sent her this. This is in Manchester, and what?
That looks like you're on a cruise ship and there's that fake wave that you can ride. That's what that looks like.
Yeah, like one of those wakeboards making lemonade out of lemons. But obviously you're seeing an incredible amount of water that's just pouring into the street in Manchester. And for some areas of Manchester, it's actually unfolding into a pretty serious situation. So we just got this confirmed. I wanted to make sure that we did that before sharing it with you, but it looks like emergency management has been passing on to us that a 60-unit condo complex on Prospect Street in Manchester, we are sending a crew to this location, is being evacuated because water has actually risen to the first floor. So this is Bigelow Brook, which is overrunning its banks. In addition, East Middle Turnpike Road in Manchester is flooded and impassable, and they're saying between 2 and 3.5 inches of rain have fallen within that time. Emergency management, and thanks to the team for getting this info for me, they're saying it is not an emergency situation. There are no electrical wires that are exposed as the water continues to climb. So that's certainly good news. And it looks like 12 people were affected from that. So it's kind of weird that I'm talking about a condo complex. This guy's just having a grand old time here behind me. All right, so let's take a look at some of these rainfall totals that we've seen so far. Can't wait to see what it has been in Manchester. And similar to what we saw in Fred, it wasn't even that we saw a lot of rain, classically speaking. It was just a lot over a short period of time. And at, rivers and streams, they're already very high. So it just doesn't take much to kind of aggravate the situation. So New London, 3.7 inches of rain. Norwich, over 3 inches, close to 3 Groton, a little over 2 in Durham, and around an inch of rain so far in Stamford. So around north and east of where the storm is tracking, that's where you're going to see the highest winds. And this is about it. I mean, a lot of people are writing in saying, are the winds expected to get worse? They will if you're in northwest Connecticut. You might see gusts again around 45 miles per hour or so, but we are not anticipating all of the sudden winds to intensify and get out of control. And I'm just very happy to see that, because if you get the wind and the rain together, obviously you're going to talk about bigger issues here at play. So this is what is going on with Henri. It made landfall pretty much right over Block Island, and after that, westerly Rhode Island. And now here is the eye wall. I'm going to continue to use the air quotes because I don't want it to sound scary to you. This is not, some big fierce hurricane eye wall that's slicing through Connecticut, but rather almost the center of circulation of this storm in particular. Now, one thing that we're kind of watching here, big picture, as that eye continues to track from southeastern Connecticut, eventually right around through Hartford and then even northwestern areas, is that the rain's moving. So we get these areas of heavy rain, but then they move on. This is not moving. So Sam was talking about this a little earlier, and we've got Nick here too, just kind of analyzing the situation. This is probably the biggest concern here at the moment for folks to the south. What was it, Brooklyn, Sam, that ended up getting?
6.88 inches.
6.88 inches in Brooklyn. That is a lot of rainfall and still ongoing, especially for an urban area that doesn't have as many trees and grass and to kind of absorb the water. So that might be the most serious situation here across the Northeast. Might be that flooding that occurs in that little area that I showed you. That's not so little, but that area that I pointed out on the map. The heaviest rain right now into northwestern Connecticut. So let's say you live in New London County, you live in Windham County, and you're wondering kind of where do we go here moving forward? Your worst of the rain is over for you guys for now. I do think that we see showers kind of fill back in again at some point through the evening tonight and through the day tomorrow. But the worst is over, and if it was better than you anticipated, again, we'll just consider it to be a bonus at this point. A very heavy rainfall, Cornwall up through the northwest corner here, and we're just seeing pretty steady rain, but nothing, tropical or too bad from Oxford down through Seymour, Ansonia, Easton.
7.82 inches.
Whoa, excuse me, 7.8 inches in Brooklyn. That's even more. So this is the area, again, that I think is of the most concern. And initially we were wondering if this area might start to push north into Connecticut. It looks pretty happy where it is right now, though, meaning it looks pretty stationary. So these are the areas where we may end up seeing the entire worst flooding out of this storm in particular. And it looks like for the New York City area at this point, all of the storm surge warnings have been canceled, but they remain in place for us. Oh, this is new too, guys. The National Hurricane Center, or actually this is the Storm Prediction Center, has dropped that risk for an isolated tornado. Didn't read the thought process behind that, but no, watch what happens as that the center of the circulation, continues to track over through Hartford and then eventually through northwestern Connecticut. The wind switches direction. It'll come out of the south, but notice that gusts aren't too bad by that point. It's breezy, but nothing too bad. And we'll continue to see gusty winds in place through the day tomorrow, but not enough to cause a lot of additional outages or significant outages. So here we are at 5:30 tonight, continuing to see some of that heavier rain kind of pivot towards the west. By 7 o'clock, there are some showers in the state of Connecticut, but the heaviest rain should be over with by that point. But we could eventually watch what happens. Little break from the overnight. You're sleeping well. Sounds of the rainforest. The occasional showers kind of coming on through. I'm going to stop the clock here heading into Monday morning because this storm is going to curve back around again, kind of taking another little last pass at Connecticut with a few showers, locally heavy downpours occasionally, as you notice those bands kind of rotate back through the state. This is 8:30, and we're still dealing with some leftover. That will add to our final rainfall total. I haven't checked in on this in a little while, so we're up to around 2 inches in Meriden, close to 3 inches in Groton, although we did have that other official report where it was more. The thing about these tropical downpours is in some areas you get a lot, even in the same town, and in others you can get much, much less. It just depends on if you were in that part of town kind of affected by that downpour as it went through. So as of right now, again, the most serious kind of threat unfolding is that flash flooding unfolding. Again, we have a crew that's being sent to Manchester to kind of investigate that condo complex that is seeing rising water and that evacuation that's ongoing there. We've got the flooded highways, as Lauren Zenzi was talking about, and there are some outages, not as many as initially anticipated with that worst case scenario, but certainly outages that may leave some without AC. And moving forward with warm and humid conditions on the way, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that might be something that people are going to be talking about in the days ahead. But certainly this could have been a much, much worse storm for us guys. And I think that, again, as a meteorologist, I want to be right, but I would much rather that the storm is better for the people of Connecticut.